Oh yes, this is a good one. Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel for 6 Things We Learned, the series after every Chelsea game. But this time we've got goals to celebrate. It finished... Celebrate? Yeah, great. Krasnodar 0, Chelsea 4. Convincing, emphatic, sublime in fact, Chelsea victory away from home in Europe. It's another clean sheet. It now makes it how many in a row? 3 clean sheets in a row in all competitions. This is absolutely mind-boggling. I can't even believe I'm sat here saying this. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was sat here in frustration, game by game, saying how awful the defending was, if anything, worse than last season, and it was bad. We seem to have fixed our defensive struggles. It was, again, using the same words, it was an emphatic away victory in the Champions League. Before we get into 6 Things We Learned, the series where we put players in boxes or managers or tactics in boxes and say if it was good, bad or ugly. Before we get into it though, I do want to ask you to subscribe to the George Benson Football Channel. There are still about 30% of people that watch the videos that aren't yet subscribed, and if you could, it would be great. We're trying to build a big community here on GBFC of Chelsea fans like me, like you, and without any further ado, we are going to start today with a blue box. It's the first time we've given a blue box in a while. It was his debut, as in, well, it's not his debut, but it was his first start in a Chelsea shirt, and I do want to mention the shirt. I still can't get around to this one, to be honest. This third kit is ever so slightly interesting to say the least, but I don't care if we go away from home and win 4-0. We could wear it at home if we really want to, at the Bridge if we're going to score 4. The man of the match yesterday was, of course, the Moroccan wizard, Hakim Ziyech, scoring a goal from the start, and I was so impressed with his performance. Not only was the goal, you know, exactly what we knew that he was going to bring to this team, where he's got those fast feet and the trickery inside the box, and he pulls the trigger with his left foot towards the goalkeeper's left-hand side into the bottom right of the net from the camera angle. It was a beautiful finish, but it wasn't just the goal that really impressed me yesterday with Ziyech. We saw all of the elements of his game that we expected to see when Frank Lampard brought him in the summer. For example, coming in from the right-hand side on his left foot, looking to play the balls over the top for Timo Werner. There was a wicked cross in the second half that got headed away, but it was very close to making its way to Werner, who ghosted in with a perfectly timed run. There was also the times where he's actually dribbling at the defence, which there are plenty of times where I see Chelsea players not taking enough risks, not willing to actually try and run at the defenders. And I bring up our old favourite geezer, Mr. Eden Hazard. He was that man who had that ability, who had the confidence and the skills in his arsenal to be able to drive at players, to take them on, to initiate shots or passes to teammates in the 18-yard box. Ziyech got quite a few shots away yesterday, and if it wasn't for, you know, a few of them were on target as well, if it wasn't for maybe a little bit of lost balance or not enough power, we could have been sat here talking about more goals for Hakim Ziyech from his first start in a Chelsea shirt. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, and I think moving forward, we're going to have to see Ziyech starting more games. He's got that ability. He can create chances out of nothing, really, with his wand of a left foot. And it was a brilliant first start for him, and he got things really going for Chelsea. He looked the most promising going forward. He gets himself a blue box, and we move into box number 2, and it is a green box for a man who got quite lucky with his goal. But Frank Lampard has been reluctant to give Callum Hudson-Odoi that many chances this season, whether it's starting or he's introduced too late to the game off the bench. But Callum Hudson-Odoi, what is it that Lampard's been saying about him? He needs to offer more when he's on the field. He needs to offer more in training. Now, in a first half that was, again, quite tentative from Chelsea, we're not yet seeing what we saw in the second half consistently throughout 90 minutes, but it's going to come. Callum Hudson-Odoi, even though the goalkeeper, I mean, I used to be a keeper. I think I could probably save that one myself. Unless you pull the trigger, you're never going to score a goal. And in the game where Chelsea were looking a little bit nervous, we missed a penalty, we were creating chances, but there was nothing really concrete coming from the Blues. Callum Hudson-Odoi gets the goal, and at the end of the day, when he's given the starting minutes, it doesn't matter about the nature of the goal. His name's on the team sheet, and Frank Lampard can look at that and say when he's given the chance, he delivers. It's his first Champions League goal from the club. He looked more confident. He was trying to get shots away, trying to get into the right areas, and I'm delighted for Callum Hudson-Odoi. I was over the moon when I saw his name on the starting team sheet. I did worry that he wasn't going to be given the minutes, and there were a couple of players yesterday, as I mentioned in my preview, both Tomori and Hudson-Odoi, and I thought, you know, if they don't start this game, where we probably do need to rest players with an eye on the fixture against Burnley at Turf Moor on Saturday afternoon, then they're going to be wondering what they're still doing and what really are the plans that Frank Lampard has for these two players. Tomori didn't start, Rudiger did start, and because we won 4-0 and kept a clean sheet, I don't want to spend too much time talking about my own personal reasons why I would have preferred to see Tomori. Rudiger did okay, but Callum Hudson-Odoi gets the start, he gets the goal, and considering the attacking performances we saw, both from players off the bench and the starting players yesterday, it's important that Callum got that goal, and he's definitely going to be in contention again come the weekend against Burnley. Take a little swig of this. It's like nice talking about goals. Now, box number 3, I'm giving a green to Super Frankie Lampard. I think it's very easy, particularly with the finicky nature of some of the members of the Chelsea fan base, that we only talk about Frank when he's not done something right, because, you know, he's been given all these players, spent all this money, so of course he should be succeeding at Chelsea Football Club. However, the way the game was playing out yesterday, Krasnodar are not a bad side. They're not the best team I've ever seen in the Champions League, for sure. It was their first ever home game in the competition, and they were unbeaten until Chelsea come into town because they got a draw against Rennes in the opening day. But I was impressed yesterday with Frank Lampard. He saw that playing with the pivot wasn't necessarily working too well. In the second half, he makes 3 substitutions, bringing on Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham and Christian Pulisic, changes the shape of the Chelsea team, moving from a 4-2-3-1 into a 4-3-3. Mason Mount and Havertz were playing predominantly as number 8s. And at 1-0, it wasn't confident for Chelsea. You know, Krasnodar hit the crossbar, Edouard Mendy was forced to make a few saves as well. Chelsea could have been in that predicament where, again, the inability to actually finish a team off, to kill the game, could have ended up costing us points. Frank Lampard makes 3 substitutions in the 71st minute, bringing on 3 attack-minded players, changes the shape of the Chelsea team, and lo and behold, within 5 minutes, we've got ourselves another penalty, we've got ourselves another goal, 2-0, much more confident, we can play with more fluidity, we can take more risks, and we go ahead and score another 2 before the match is done. So moving forward, I look at the way we played in those final 20 minutes, playing with 2 number 8s in front of N'Golo Kante's position. Well, I'm saying N'Golo Kante's position, but if we can go with 3 in the middle with probably Kante as the holding midfielder, there's still going to be work that needs to be done defensively from those number 8 players, because Kante on his own always struggles unless he's alongside someone. We're not going to see the same days as Nemanja Matic, because the Kante-Cover, Kante-Jorginho partnership has never been as fruitful as with Kante and Nemanja Matic. But I think definitely moving forward for Chelsea, playing with one midfielder in the centre in the hold, with 2 number 8s going forward, we look so much more creative. We look like we're ready to create more chances. We did create more chances in this game against Krasnodar. Chelsea won the game 4-0. And I think Frank Lampard's substitutions were perfectly timed. He brought Hakim Ziyech off as well with 10 minutes to go, preserving that extra 10-15 minutes of fitness for him. Tammy Abraham, I want to give a shout out to him. I thought he looked very good when he came on. He looked bright. And at the moment, we're not seeing him complain about being Chelsea's number 9 and not starting matches, because of course, Timo Werner's doing very well. And when Tammy's coming on, he's working hard for the team. He might not always necessarily be in the striking position that he wants to be in, but he looked good. Frank was perfect yesterday. 4-0 Chelsea. We move into box number 4. And again, I'm absolutely delighted that in every single video at the moment, I can give a green box to Chelsea's goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. It's 5 matches in a blue shirt. It's 4 times that he's appeared in the 6 Things We Learned video with a green box. Isn't this just delightful, ladies and gentlemen? If that isn't enough reason to hit the like button on today's video, then I don't really know what is. Our goalkeeper made 4 saves again. He touched the ball 55 times, looked very confident, and again, some of the saves that he made, there were 2 in particular. The one in the first half where he gets down low to his right hand side, parries the ball around for a corner. That was not an easy save. I don't think there was probably enough credit given for how good that save was in the commentary. There was also one in the second half where again, he is near post, just makes a good save, he parries it into an area where It could have been dangerous, but it was a good save. Nonetheless, strong wrists, he didn't let it go through his body. Edouard Mendy, I feel so confident with this man between the sticks. It's not just his ability to actually save the ball from going into the back of the net, which of course is a bloody great thing for a goalkeeper to do. His footwork is very good. I think his distribution is pretty good as well. I can only really remember one where he kicked it out for a throw-in last night, but you can allow that from the keeper. He can't always be perfect, but it's near perfect right now from Edouard Mendy. He's doing very well. I'm impressed. I can see that the defenders have the confidence to play the ball back to him in tricky situations where he's got to get the ball out of the box and there's players pressing him from the opposing side. He looks very good. And box number 4 is for Mendy. We move into box number 5, and every time your striker scores a goal, whether it's from the penalty spot or not, it's always a positive sign. Timo Werner gets his first Champions League goal for Chelsea. Jorginho, I want to talk about the whole penalty thing for a moment. Jorginho misses his second penalty of the season, the little hop, skip and jump. It's always lovely when it goes in, but I remember saying last season, eventually, when it doesn't go in, we're all going to be sat here thinking, you know what, this party trick is over. As much as I love Jorginho's penalties, it's usually an entertaining spectacle whenever he steps up to kick the ball in the back of the net from 12 yards. He missed again, and then Timo Werner takes the second penalty because obviously Jorginho wasn't on the field, and he scores. He hits it with power, he hits it with confidence. Because of the last couple of games, I said that Timo's performances weren't necessarily as good as some of the early stage season form that we saw from him and the movement. Yesterday he was very good again, even though the goal was only from the penalty spot. I thought his movement was good. He was trying to create space to allow the wingers to be able to attack the Krasnodar defenders, giving him more opportunities to receive the ball in the box. I thought he looked good. I think Timo Werner's movement is always something he's received a lot of praise for in the early stages of his career. He's still only 24 years old. Timo gets the goal, and I think when Chelsea win the game like this, you know, it's a pressure penalty. When you're 1-0 up with 15 minutes to go, you miss that penalty, and the fact there was flipping 11,000 fans in the stadium, it rallies the fans up. It rallies up Krasnodar because they're thinking, you know what? Chelsea have missed 2 penalties. We've got a chance here to get a result against probably the top team in this group. No disrespect to Sevilla or Rennes, but I think Chelsea probably are. Well, we are top of the group. Group E's looking promising for Chelsea. So the fact he scored the penalty, it allowed us to relax a little bit more. It allowed us to be more creative, more expressive with our passing, with our attacking play, including that of the substitutions as well, which naturally changed the shape, as I've already mentioned, for Chelsea to be more expressive in attack. Timo Werner gets a green box. I'm excited for the fact he got his first Champions League goal, and I think we're going to see him score again away at Turf Moor on Saturday, and I hope I haven't just jinxed it, because I know you guys believe in that stuff, at least some of you do. Very happy for Timo. And box number 6, it's another green one. I love doing these 6 things we learned videos where Chelsea don't just win, but we win convincingly and we actually play well, and there are progressive things that we can see moving forward. Christian Pulisic, Captain America, comes off the bench. If you look at the match ratings, and I've taken the match ratings from the BBC, Christian Pulisic was one of the best players in the minutes of football that he played. He makes a difference every time he's on the field for Chelsea. He's always looking to get into the box. It was a nice finish with his right foot. Again, the Krasnodar goalkeeper didn't really put himself in all the glory today. He's certainly not going to ever be bought by Chelsea Football Club, that's for sure. He let it go through his legs, but Christian Pulisic, the thing I love about him is whenever he gets the ball in the box, if it's coming in on the left side, he's looking to take players on, to put it on his right foot, or even his left. He's very good at shooting with his left as well. His first thought is always to look for the goal, whether he can get the shot away early, or whether he has to try and do a bit of trickery to take players on. Pulisic's mind is always on scoring a goal. He did that yesterday. He wrapped it up for Chelsea. I thought when he came on, he looked very bright, and I think the fact that we won this so convincingly, and we managed to, you know, rest someone like Pulisic, who's always prone to picking up a little injury or a niggle that can see him miss a few matches here and there. The fact he did get that goal again to keep building his confidence for the season, we saw in those last 15 minutes for Chelsea that we did look so potent going forward. Christian Pulisic rested for the majority. Great that he got some more minutes under his belt. Scored a goal. Chelsea were pretty much flawless in the game yesterday. There were maybe a couple of moments defensively where Krasnodar had that shot that hit the crossbar. It looked like a save from Mendy, but I don't think he did get a touch on it. It's looking very good. It's 3 clean sheets in a row. We've spoken at the start of the season about how defending was poor. We seem to have fixed that problem. And I think the good thing right now with Lampard is he sees consistency with his selections. Thiago Silva will be back in the side for the game against Burnley unless there's any injuries that happen. Touch wood, touch the table, it's not going to happen. It's looking good for Chelsea right now. There were moments in this game where we looked scintillating on the attack. There were brilliant moments, and the more we the more we continue to keep clean sheets, the more we have games like this one where we do go and run riot in the last 15 minutes and score a few goals. It's going to build the confidence. The more minutes these players get together, the better they're going to be gelling together. And we're only 4 points off the lead in the Premier League. We're top of the Champions League group. People were going a little bit crazy. I was starting to get a bit frustrated with 0-0 draws. But a match like this, a big win like this one, could be the turning point in Chelsea's season. As always, with 6 things we learned, let me know the 6 things that you learn in the comments down below so that we can discuss it, and I might make another video before the game against Burnley this weekend, addressing some of the points we've mentioned. Looking forward to that game, of course, before the preview on Saturday morning. Going to bring out a Chelsea news video for you guys tomorrow because I've not done one for a while. There's not really been that much news. There's just been a lot of football being played and a lot to talk about and a lot of speculation about how Chelsea are going to grow, fix some of the issues that we seem to be fixing now. Big win, Krasnodar 0, Chelsea 4. Hit the like button if you did enjoy today's video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you tomorrow with a brand new video. See you all there, bye bye.